It ain't about plumbing. It's about creating that emotion. Okay?
Absolutely.
Control the stereotype. They're judging a book by its cover. Make your cover look good. Hey, plumbing pros, welcome to the 465th episode of Potty Talk. I'm your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber, along with my beautiful co-host, the lovely Laura.
Hello.
Well, we're talking the business of plumbing. Hey, in this episode, we're talking about brand. In fact, the title of this episode is How to Build a Plumbing Brand Customers Love.
Not you.
Okay.
Not that you love.
We'll get into that. Right. You know, this branding, we get asked about, the branding thing, we get asked about a lot. It's one of those things, and maybe, you think this way, that this is, it's, you realize that, it's important, but it's not important. It's just one of those weird things.
It's fall by the wayside because I'm busy here.
Right.
I'm building a business here.
But it is very, very, very important.
Absolutely.
Okay, you got it to your success. Okay, if you're looking to be successful, having, a thriving, self-sustaining, very profitable plumbing business that you're able to scale. All right. And so that's how we define success. So brand is important. We're going to get into it. You're not going to want to miss. These are in fact, they're easy. They're simple things. And I think I'm even leaning toward it's easy. I'm not one to want to say that things are easy because in reality, they're simple. And for you to have a successful plumbing business on the whole is a simple process. It's not so easy making the transitions. Right. These things are simple, but they really are easy to implement. All right. Okay. And we're going to go over them here in just a moment. But hey, I want you to check something out for your plumbing business first. This is a powerful plumbing business tool that will help you grow your plumbing business. Check it out. Let's be blunt. If you're a plumbing contractor driving around in a plain white van, you're practically invisible. Without a distinctive, memorable brand, you're missing the chance to make an instant connection. You're good at what you do, but how are people supposed to see that you look blends in with every other generic service out there? Now meet Congify. They're not just another design outfit. They're your key to transforming that plain white van into a rolling, unmistakable symbol of trust, quality, and professionalism. Congify specializes in helping plumbing businesses build powerful brand identities, distinctive logos, bold color schemes, and unified messaging, all at a fraction of the cost top agencies charge. They'll make you impossible to ignore, giving you the confidence to dominate your local market and stand head and shoulders above the competition. If you're done feeling invisible, if you're ready to elevate your business from just another plumbing company to a household name, check out Congify. Don't settle for blending in. Stand out, own your market, and watch your business take off. All right, there you go. Okay, good stuff here. But we got good stuff here. I want to get into this branding thing.
Okay.
I want to make sure we have plenty of time to cover this because this is important and vital. This is my
favorite subject, actually. I like this subject.
Yeah, you do. You have a tendency to rip our client. Oh, I guess that will keep you from. You do dive into our clients. You're pretty straightforward with this, and rightfully so because
Right.
Okay.
And I want so much for them because there's like we're going to talk about. There's so much opportunity to have customers that love your brand versus them not even realizing you exist.
And even getting to love, which is that just makes you a fixture, to your plumbing term, a fixture in your community to be the plumbing business, but just to stand out, to get noticed. You do these things. You can just be starting out. You don't even have your plumbing business yet. Maybe you don't have. You just put the brand out there, and you'll get phone calls.
Right.
Okay, with the right brand. Okay.
And I think this message, this episode might be geared more towards those of you that are just starting out or have relatively new and you started your plumbing business and you named it. I don't know how much we're going to get into, but you named it your initials or your name or whatever. And that's something I want to really cover because that's what makes sense, right? So I think, again, if you're just starting out a relatively new business, this episode is absolutely for you.
Definitely. But I also will say, though, for those, I'm going to hit on my old dogs, okay? I mean, you've been in business for years, and maybe it's a family business with a family name, but you just aren't growing. This is a major reason why.
Yeah, and we've got a great example of that as well.
Yes, yes, we do. Okay. Well, let me get into my first point here, okay? First point, okay? It ain't about plumbing. When you heard that, ain't about plumbing, but I added, it's about emotion, okay? That's what it's about with the branding, okay? You hit on, I like to say, the brand isn't about plumbing, okay? It's about how you make people feel, okay? You got to grasp that. It ain't about plumbing. It's about how you make that customer or in this, potential customer feel. Okay.
There's a famous saying that is, people don't remember what you said; they remember how you made them feel. Right? That's because people are emotion, and people, humans are emotional. So that's that's what you want to remember when you're building your brand. Is don't think about the words or whatever. Think about how does the brand evoke emotion in your customer.
Exactly. And I follow it all the way through. They don't care about what you have to say. Okay. It's what your customer feels about your truck that showed up. Okay. About how you look.
Right.
And how you approach them, and all those kinds of things. It's extremely important. Customers didn't wake up. Your customers didn't wake up in the morning and want to call a plumber. Okay, they just want their day back. And so this whole thing that's happening is an emotional decision-making process. It's not logical.
Right.
So often you think, well, I'm the best plumber in town. I mean, we do great plumbing. We're going to take care. They don't. That's a good way. But they don't care. They don't care. They care. Yeah, they want to get it done, but it's secondary. That's not what's driving them.
Yes, and emotional because their day just has been interrupted. We live, plumbing business owners, we live and breathe plumbing, right? It's just our, it's a part of our DNA. It's a part of what we think about, whatever, because that's your career, that's your business. Our customers do not. They never think about plumbing until they have to, and it's never fun. It's never like, oh, this is great. My water heater's leaking. I can't wait to call a plumber. Or, boy, I sure hope my toilets run and leak or whatever in the middle of the night. And so I can call a plumber. They don't. So not only is the brand an emotional thing, them calling you is an emotional thing. It's an interruption to their day, which they're not happy about. They know they're going to have to deal with it. They know they're going to have to spend money, all of that. So giving them something that makes them feel a little better, which is a great brand, nice truck parked in the driveway, right, that their neighbors see, then that helps with the emotional part of it.
Exactly. So just very, very simply, exactly what's happening is, they woke up in the morning, there's a problem, I got to call a plumber, son of a, whatever, okay? And so they're going to, you're watching the video, I'm holding up my phone, this is what we're doing. And
Plumbers near me.
Plumbers near me. And whatever companies pop up that makes them feel good, that, I know them, and I know them in a positive way. I see their trucks. Right, exactly. It doesn't have to be all around all the time. That's the big lie. We think, well, it's of course the Roto-Rooters, or my family business has been around. I can't change the name. We've been around for 50 years.
Well, can we talk about that? I'm not sure where we're going. I'm going to talk about the family business that grew.
Well, we can. I'd like to mention them, but I'm going to finish the point here that it's, even if you're just starting out, just like you said, we're speaking to, if you're just starting out your plumbing business, haven't even started your plumbing business, you can jump to the top of the line, to the front of the line by just being branded right. In a way, in this case, you hit your possible customer emotionally.
Right.
So what do we mean by that? What does that look like? Okay, so you use an example like J&J Plumbing. Or Superb Plumbing, whatever that.
Quality plumbing.
Okay.
Or my last name is Hyper Zinkowicz.
Right.
I'm proud of my name, right?
Which is good, but
great, but don't put that on the truck. No one's ever. They're gonna, for one, they won't be able to pronounce it. We had a number of clients they start and they've got an interesting and hard to pronounce last name, but they just think, well, I need to call it my last name. No, because for one, if you've got a difficult last name to pronounce, that people butcher your name all the time. Ours we've got 6 letters in ours. Ours gets butchered all the time. Behney, Behney. That was always a fun one when someone said, Behney, your table is ready. Right. We're like, who's that loser with that last name?
Let's just stay seated.
Let's just stay here. Excuse me. So if you've got a difficult last name and it gets butchered all the time, don't call your plumbing business that name because it's not memorable.
Well, it says that we're family owned. And we're small.
Well,
that's the other lie there, right there, about being small. No, customers don't want small. Okay, that doesn't equate to security. They're looking for security. Again, this is all emotion. I want to feel like I can get a good company. They recognize you because it creates emotion, and get in here and get it done.
Yep.
Okay, and on down the road. Okay, they don't care that you're a small business, family owned, that kind of thing. All right. In fact, the bigger franchises make them feel, so you want to look like a big franchise and sound like a big franchise, because that makes the customer feel more secure.
Right.
You know?
Can we talk about the business that went from long time, Jordan Plumbing?
Yeah,
Right?
that's a good example.
Yeah,
One
client of MDP. They were Jordan Plumbing for 40 years or something. I mean, a really long time. And as well see new construction and commercial and contract work and things like that.
And service, and they had a good name. They've been around because they've been, it's what we all say. Oh, customers love me.
Right. And the father had started, and then the son took over, and that's when we were working with them. It's the Jordans out of Mankato, Minnesota. Anyway, they wanted to change the name to make it more, to get rid of the last name, but to make it resonate in the community. And they changed the name of their plumbing business to Babe, B-A-B-E, Babe Plumbing, and their logo being Babe, the Blue Ox. Well, for a lot of you, probably the vast majority of you in the country, don't know who Babe the Blue Ox is, or you don't even care. Well, in Minnesota, it's a thing. It's Paul Bunyan and his trusty sidekick, Babe the Blue Ox. It's a legend, or what do you call it?
A myth,
myth,
like
whatever.
a Northwest myth,
Right.
woodsman myth.
Right. But Minnesota, I mean, that's a thing. Everybody knows Paul Bunyan because it comes from there. So they named their company Babe Plumbing, and with the mascot being a blue ox. Well, that is perfect. It's absolutely perfect for their area. And that was a big decision to go from changing a name, last name of the business that's been around for a long time, to something that is completely different. But they have since grown even more and profitable, which is nice.
Right.
And their brand is amazing. So go check it out after this episode. Go check it out. It's Babe Plumbing in Mankato.
Well, they've more than
Minnesota.
tripled.
Yeah.
Just by being recognized, because that's the fear that everyone knows this is Jordan Plumbing. No, they don't.
They don't.
Okay. No, everyone knows me as J&J Plumbing. No, they don't.
Right. And if they do, more than likely, they probably know you as customers that you don't necessarily want, because you are probably underpriced. Right. So there's that, but that might be another episode.
Well, and it's, it's the thought I had there with how the brain works. And that's the thing, that J&J, the brain, works so quickly. I'm trying to find, back in the day, you maybe had 3 or 5 seconds where the brain would take a look at something and try to figure it out. But if the brain doesn't like you, like right now, what's J&J Plumbing? If they see your truck and you get J&J Plumbing, the brain just, I don't know what that is.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
And so not only does it say I don't know what it is, it says ignore that. So even if you do work hard to get, again, I'm holding up my phone here for those who are just listening to podcast, and being here in Google, and you do pop up J&J Plumbing, the brain says, oh, I don't recognize that. I don't like that.
Because your brain didn't store it.
Right. It just says I don't. Right. It says ignore that. So the brain just goes right on by it. All right.
But if it's something in your community, I mean, again, going back to Babe Plumbing, they have these big, beautiful trucks, and that stands out. And again, it's recognizable. It's something that I know in my community.
Right. So it's so important, and that's the huge opportunity you have of really, I call it planting a flag in your community. So that's the big fear. We're starting out, you're small, it's just me in a truck or whatever, or just just me and I have another guy or whatever. I can't compete with the big franchises. Yeah, you can. You have a huge opportunity to steal the hearts of the community.
Yes.
And it is just as simple as, we've had examples of, I like the example of one of our clients. It was Daffodil Plumbing. Just because it's a flower, just with plumbing, I don't think, I'm not going to call my plumbing company a flower, use a flower. Well, in their community, the daffodils, they're big, they're known for growing daffodils, and they have a big festival and all that. So it means a lot.
It's a gorgeous brand. And before it was named, I think their last name or their initials, I can't remember, or it was boring. I forget, quality or top notch or something. I don't remember what it is. But anyway, their plumbing company is called Daffodil Plumbing, and it totally resonates with their community because it's just a part of, right?
Right. And another one of my favorites of our clients was Route 66 that they changed. I mean, it was like his initial or some bar. I can't remember. That's the point. I can't remember it. And they've been plumbing and struggling. Well, of course, we got to learn the other systems. But one of the things we did was change the brand.
And they're in Amarillo. It was in
Amarillo, Texas, which is Route 66 and all. That's a big deal. As soon as they did that, boom, shot up. It's like, you've been around forever.
Right.
Well, they already been around for a few years.
Right.
But
people in the community sort of resonated with it, and the brand was gorgeous.
Right. It's so powerful. It is fun. And guys, emotionally, it's okay if you get kind of emotional about your brand and working with it, going through that whole process. And once you get it done and you do see it up on the truck, and it's just, it can bring a tear to your eye, and it's okay. And that's
which is fun.
You can cry on that.
And you're going to live with this brand.
Yes.
I mean, until you sell your plumbing business, or, you continue to grow it and whatever, you're going to live with this brand. It's going to be a part of you and your family. It's a thing, right? Our plumbing business name was Attaboy, which is such a great name. Attaboy Plumbing. I mean, our kids knew. I mean, Attaboy and Buddy, who was our mascot, he was a part of the family.
Right.
So that's the other thing, is you have to resonate with it as well. Your customers more so, but to know that it's going to be a part of your life for a while.
Exactly. It's a big deal. The bottom line, take away with this first point, I just want to get it across that, your branding, it ain't about plumbing. Okay. It's about emotion. Okay. Your branding isn't what you say it is. Okay. We're Quality Plumbing. That's not your brand. It's what your customers feel. Okay. What they feel about you when they see your brand, and or see you, which brings me to point number 2. Okay. And point number 2 is this: branding is stereotyping. Okay. So look the part, right? Okay. Stereotyping. That's kind of bad. We don't stereotype. Stereotyping is bad. No, it's not bad or good. It's just how we are as humans. We judge a book by its cover, period. Okay, you can fight that. You can look for your safe place. Give me a puppy to hold. That's not very nice. And we can cry all about it and do everything. But the bottom line, people judge a book by its cover. Okay, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a freaking duck. Okay, so if you're pulling up in a piece of crap van, okay, J&J Plumbing on it, and you get out, in a pair of ripped jeans and a T-shirt, and you flick your cigarette off, okay, you suck. You look like a butt crack plumber, okay? You look cheap, okay? And that's what the customer is going to expect, period.
Right. Yeah,
okay?
they from the moment you pull up in their driveway, right? If you do have that crappy truck or whatever, right, they're judging you, and immediately they are going to know your value is going to be lower. Right. They're just, even if they don't rationalize it within themselves or whatever, just intuitively that's what they know.
Right. No one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. No one wants to spend money on plumbing. We have no value as plumbers. Okay. Plumbing has no value. No one wants to spend. Yeah, we know it has value. Okay. Right. If we make it just about the plumbing, it has no value because people don't want to spend money on plumbing. It's a commodity. When you're dressing like, a butt crack plumber, and I'm working here. I'm just working. I'm still a good plumber. I'm working. It's not who I am and all that. Well, you just lumped yourself into, you're just a bunch, just jack, that's how the customer sees you. And that's the value there.
Right.
Okay.
And it's part of the experience. We say it all the time, that you want to give your customer the experience. And that's why we say it's not about plumbing, which is so hard sometimes for you guys to really grasp. It's the customer wants the whole experience. They want for the nice truck to pull up in the driveway. They want a friendly person that's answering the phone. They want their technician, when they knock on the door, to be in a nice, clean uniform, and that the plumber doesn't smell like cigarette smoke or alcohol. Whatever, right? They want the experience. They want you to walk into their home and put shoe covers on. Man, if you're not putting shoe covers on, you've lowered your value. When you put shoe covers on, it just goes up. How many times have you guys who do use shoe covers, you've gone into someone's house and you stop and you put shoe covers on, and people are like, oh, well, that's a nice touch. Oh, thank you for doing that. Some people say, oh, don't worry about it. Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. But that's all a part of the experience. Part of the experience too, and this is for free, is that you're going to listen to the customer. After you get your shoe covers on and you say, "Hi, Mrs. Stone. It's nice to meet you. And here you've got a plumbing issue. Why don't you tell me what's going on?" Let her talk. Let her speak, or him, but most of the time it's Mrs. Jones. Let them say what the plumbing issue is. That's a part of the experience as well.
Right, so. Right. It's part of your brand. Mm-hmm. It is so important. People judge a book by its cover. Humans naturally stereotype. Okay, it's just how it is. Okay, it's just how it is. So you might as well try to control that stereotype. Okay, and that's the good news, is that you can. So I've seen it when you're branded up. With our Attaboy brand, And so that means having uniforms, everyone wearing the uniformed, okay, not half your guys in jeans and the other guys in uniform pants and a shirt. I mean, you got to control
different kinds of
shirts and different hats. I mean, where it's uniformed, okay, and branded truck. Then people expect us to be plumbers. I've had guys that were tatted up and ear gauges. People expect plumbers to be a little rougher crowd, but they'll trust if you're showing up. You're showing up. There's value there. You see what I'm saying?
Showing up in a good brand.
Right. People trust. Again, this isn't logic. Okay, it's emotional, and that's what's happening here. You got to grasp that. It's that on the service side of things. It's an emotional play. Period. Okay, so they're going with their feelings and how they feel about it, and how, do I trust you? They don't even know your work. Okay, people are judging you. By as soon as they see you before they even hear your pitch, for what needs to be done. Okay, they're already deciding whether they think you can do it based on how you look, okay, or even if they want to have you do it. I had an example with that. Okay, I just recently want to get my windows cleaned, so I did what. Window cleaners near me. Okay, for those listening on the podcast, I'm holding up my phone again. Is what everyone does. Window cleaners near me, and up pops some window cleaners. Okay. And so I called one that the name sounded kind of good, It wasn't like Quality Window Cleaning, it was, right. I don't know what it was like, Crystal, See Forever Window Cleaning or something like, I forget what it was, but I didn't use them because everything was looking good. I was feeling good about it. But when I called, they went, first of all, it was an awkward hello. Hello? And I said, is this See Forever Window Cleaning or whatever it was? Yeah. Can you hold just a moment? And then they didn't say, can you hold just a moment? Hey, I'll be right with you. Or something. They just kind of cut me off, and then I was like on hold or whatever. It just felt awkward. I felt bad.
Well, yeah.
So I hung up.
Heck yeah.
It's emotion. I did that. And I know what's, okay.
Horrible.
Right. And so it is, your customers are all behaving in that manner. So it matters.
Yes.
It ain't about plumbing, okay? And people are judging you on how you look. So you got to have it all put together. Okay? All right? So that's 2. All right? Okay.
Before you go to 3, I want to ask all of you guys right this very second, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so that when we drop a new episode, you get notified. All the things, and then leave a comment. Let us know how you like the show or topics you'd like for us to cover, that as well. Or if you're watching on your favorite podcast platform, just give us a nice review. You guys know how reviews work. Works the same for us. So would really appreciate if you, like you always say, babe, share the love.
Share the love. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. We're talking, how to build a plumbing brand that customers love. And that is key to, once they love your brand or just feel connected to it, you're in. Okay. And that is great. So, the first point, we made it ain't about plumbing. Okay. It's about emotion. Okay. All right. And it's about how they feel. It's not logical. That's logic that's happening here. This is all emotion. Okay. Number 2, branding is stereotyping. All right. So, you got to look the part. People judge a book by its cover, whether you like it or not.
Hold on a second.
Just how it
For
is.
those that are watching, I've got this new shirt, which I really like. I've worn this before, but don't these sleeves?
You're looking up at the.
I'm looking up at the camera, right, or at the monitor. These sleeves remind me of the bad dinosaur in Jurassic Park, the one that flipped its. What was it?
Oh, when that guy was stealing the stuff, or like the DNA on the original one.
Yeah, and
well, that's a squirrel moment, sweetheart.
I caught a glimpse
or a
of
dinosaur
the
moment.
So anyway, sorry. How my mind works. Anyway, go ahead. You've got a great point, and I just interrupted it.
Okay.
Point number 3.
Point number 3: branding is everything you do. Okay, not just your logo. It's everything you do. Okay, it's the way you answer the phone. I just.
Prove the point.
It's the way you answer the phone.
Are you friendly when you answer the phone? Really friendly. Again, not more than likely, somehow you've spent money for that customer to call you. Somehow, some way to get in the mind of the customer, you've spent money to get them to call you. So be mindful about how you answer. Be thankful that they're calling you because they're giving your plumbing business work, your guy's work, whatever it might be. So be friendly and mean it. Like actually,
I'm sorry. Yes, it's so important because in this day, especially service is just, it's an old, there just isn't service today. It is so easy to win today because there just isn't service. And by service, I mean, it's like you're appreciating that someone called you or walked into your store. Okay. And it's trained even to like the cash register person. I mean, whatever. It's just part of the system. That's what, like Chick-fil-A. Everyone's amazed at Chick-fil-A. Well, it's my pleasure. It's my whatever. And it's the same kids that could be working at McDonald's, but McDonald's, it's like kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss their ass. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever, what's that from? That's a squirrel moment.
Christmas vacation.
That's how it is.
Because Chick-fil-A makes a point of training that into their culture and their brand. And our daughter worked at Chick-fil-A, I think it was her junior year of high school, and it was drilled into her, my pleasure. So even at home, I would, thank her for something. Like she did something, I would thank her, and she'd say, my pleasure. And she'd go, oh, man. Like she can't get away from responding when someone says thank you. By responding with my pleasure, because it was so drilled into them.
It's part of the training and the expectation. Okay, it's systemized. I just saw I was looking in on the community at in the Success Academy, and I saw someone that did something. I just kind of just went through. I just was checking in, and it was something along the lines: how do I get a guys that won't do the inspection report or do an inspection at the beginning? And I didn't chime in. I wanted to, but I felt I would have come in too hard. And I might have moved on to something else, and I didn't come back because others were responding, and they were, anyways. But it was. I wanted to say because it's what you do. It's your brand. You tell them to do it. You do it, or you're fired. Okay, it's so important.
Right.
Okay, your brand isn't. You can have everything dressed up in a good-looking brand. But if you have a guy out there that just won't wear the uniform, like we had we had to have our shirts tucked in. So because it's part of looking professional, you're not looking like a butt crack, handyman, helper, plumber. Okay, by just showing up, whatever. There's no value to that. Well, I'm a good plumber. It doesn't matter.
They expect you to be a
okay,
good plumber.
Right? And if you're thinking that way with your plumbing business, well, it's plumbing and all that. You're full of crap. This isn't for you. Go be a good plumber. Good luck. Okay, because this is so important. It's a big deal.
Yes.
Okay, your brand. Okay, yeah. It isn't just the brush of your brand. Okay, it's every little single thing you do.
Like answering the phones.
It adds up.
Again, how you park. How you
Yes.
park at their house. Right? Do you pull into their driveway and you block their cars? Is your truck leaking all over their driveway? And do you, if they've got a trash can, empty trash can at the end of the driveway, do you bring it up for them and just put it by the garage? There's a newspaper. Does anybody do newspapers anymore? I don't know. There's a newspaper somewhere on the sidewalk or whatever. You take it and you take it up to the customer. That's branding as well.
Listening. You brought that up earlier. Just the thing of listening.
And,
okay,
and showing concern and
it shows you're professional.
Right.
Okay, not saying well I know what needs to be done. I just need to get right to it and I'll get it fixed and I'll get them taken care of. And
I've seen this a million times. I know what needs to be done.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Not to that Mrs. Jones, because it's the first time for her.
Right. This isn't logic. This is emotion that's happening. So they want to tell their story or make sure that you understand their point of view on what's happening, even though you got it clear. And I get it. Some customers are going to be like, I love my engineer customers, that are real tech, and they want to tell you about how to do the plumbing, okay?
Or stand over you the whole time.
Right. It doesn't matter. It's just part of being, you got to listen to them. Okay, you got to take it. It's part of the brand. They're judging. It's part of the emotion. Again, branding. It ain't about plumbing. It's about emotion. So anything that makes them look like you're one of them, just like them, and normal and part of the community, and that you care. Okay.
And the other thing about being part of the community, once you do have a really good brand, truck, got a couple trucks done or whatever, man, get that truck out everywhere. Get that truck out there everywhere. Every festival, every community, whatever it might be, baseball games, even if you don't have any kids in Little League, if Saturday is when all the parents are out taking their kids to some sort of soccer or Little League, and just go out there and drive the truck around. Just let it be seen. so that people do get used to seeing your really great brand. Another great thing you can do is sponsoring some of those baseball teams. Those, and you don't see immediate reward from that. You don't. But again, it's a branding play. And it's a relatively inexpensive branding play. Those Little League and soccer, whatever, they're always looking for sponsors.
I'm amazed. I'm not amazed, but it's still fun.
But you can't have. I'm sorry, but you can't have. You can't do that if the name of your company is J&J Plumbing.
No, it means nothing.
It means nothing. You have something that's fun anyway.
Right.
So what are you amazed by?
Well, the idea that just we've seen, now hundreds of times, we literally get a one truck chuck. We take you right from, and we're getting into the systems and all that, and we get in the academy, and we get into it, and then we work on the brand or whatever, and immediately when they get their brand and it's the right with creating the emotion, they can just have one truck, and immediately they start hearing, "We see your trucks everywhere."
Everywhere.
Now they've been around for 3 years, nothing but crickets. J&J Plumbing. Okay,
And the white van with red and blue lettering.
But we get Daffodil Plumbing. We see your trucks everywhere.
Babe Plumbing, yeah, 100%.
Babe, yeah. We see your trucks everywhere.
It stands out because it's so different, and you know that. I mean, you see service trucks out all the time. You know that most of them look like these boring white trucks that just kind of blend into the background. So
that's the branding game. Extremely important.
It's one of my favorite things to think about.
You want to make the phone ring, okay, with good paying customers, lifelong customers. All right, your brand is very important. It ain't about plumbing. It's about creating that emotion. Okay?
Absolutely.
Control the stereotype. They're judging a book by its cover. Make your cover look good. All right? And control it. And then finally, branding is everything. It's everything you do, from the way you walk, talk, okay? Answer the phone, the way you collect payment, all the way to collecting payment.
Where you thank them at the end for allowing us to serve you. Thank you so much for allowing Attaboy Plumbing to serve you.
Exactly.
Right? End it well. So, and then the happy call after. That's another episode.
But it's brand is everything. Okay. And it can make all the difference. All right.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to learn more about, the branding and other aspects of running a thriving, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business, you can check out my free school site where I have free trainings. All right. There's coaching available there. Okay. But a community of other plumbing business owners just like you. And did I say it was free?
Yes, it is free. So School, SKOOL, School is a great platform that businesses such as ours can put free information or paid information or whatever it might be. It's just a great and easy, super easy system to use. And there's an app for it as well. But to join our free school community, go to millionDollarPlumber.com/school, SKOOL, and click the Join Now button. Piece of cake.
Okay, but if you're just done with it, you're ready, like you've been around, I'm ready to move on. Okay,
I need help.
You want to get after it? Well, let's talk. Okay, we'll have a conversation, and to do that, you can schedule our conversation. Go to millionDollarPlumber.com/call, and we'll schedule a time where we can talk and get you pointed in the right direction.
And I'll even, if you've got a crappy brand, I'll even help you. You join the Success Academy. Whether you like it or not, I'll help you. But yeah, I'm happy to rip your brand apart and help you build a new one.
She's Mrs. Jones. Okay, she knows. All right, that's a good one. Good stuff here. Go back and listen to this. If you didn't catch everything here, there's little nuances here. Okay, your brand is extremely important. All right, it's a difference between you just, one of the major things between you just owning your job and out there working. I'm sure you're doing a great job and working hard, but it's a difference between your brand, difference between you just doing that or, actually creating your wealth, okay, both financial wealth and time wealth.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So there we go. All right. Good stuff. All right. Glad to have you here. But before I let you go, as always, I want to remind you that you were purposefully and wonderfully created, and you were created to do great things. Plumb like a champion.
Bye, everybody.